Hey, what's up and welcome back to Interpreting the Stars, where today we are talking about the 2019 romantic comedy Long Shot, which stars Seth Rogen and Charlize Theron. It came out to theater, I think, in May. It's coming out to digital right now, which is the reason for the review right now. And I've heard a few things throughout the last couple of months about it, mostly positive actually, saying that no, this movie's not the best movie ever. It's not the best movie of the year even, but it is possibly a contender for Best Comedy of the Year, which doesn't actually surprise me given the fact that Seth Rogen is a part of it. Whether you like the guy, whether you like his acting ability or not, doesn't really matter. You have to at least admit that the projects that he chooses to do are unique and they are different. They have a voice and they are, whatever. His movies specifically stand out above the rest for a reason. And it's that reason specifically that makes me think that he is one of the best comedic actors working today. That's more of a personal bias, personal opinion that I have, and it's basically what I hold to see every time that he comes out with a new movie. So I hope to see from this movie something that's different, something that's unique, something that stands out among the rest, that makes it an actual contender for Best Comedy of the Year. So is that what this movie is? Is Long Shot the best comedy of the year, or at least a contender? Let's figure this out. First off, I want to talk about the good things to find in this movie, and a couple of things. Obviously, it challenges itself to be better than typical comedies like it. It stays away from tropes that act as a safety net. I mean, just look at the casting choice of Seth Rogen and Charlize Theron, who are two very, very different actors with very different styles in what they do. They have absolutely no right to be any good together, and yet they are. Their chemistry really, really works very well for this film, and I can't exactly explain why that is. However, what I can explain is I don't really sense the romantic chemistry as much as I sense the professional chemistry. Kind of like in Always Be My Maybe, the Netflix rom-com. They have amazing chemistry, really, really good. However, it is very much on a professional level, not so much romantic in my opinion, and I sense the same here. I don't really sense that these characters are in love as much as I feel like they're having a heck of a great time together while making the movie, which is more of a professional chemistry type thing, which is fine and everything. It does run into some speed bumps because I don't really sense that romantic chemistry, and it is a rom-com. But I'll get to that in a second. Now, apart from staying away from the safety net of other rom-coms like it, apart from casting really risky choices for the leads, this movie is also a politically heavy film, which means that there's a lot of politics in this film, a lot of political issues that they talk about, which is another risk that the film takes in making sure that not everybody will stick around, because it might upset some people when they watch the movie, which is fine and dandy. That's what politics does. It's just more risks that the movie takes than probably is necessary, and you know what? I can't stop praising him for it, because the more risks you take, the more rewards you might run into, and I think for the most part, this film finds more rewards than it finds the opposite. I think it succeeds in more areas than it doesn't. That being said, there are negatives to be found in this film. Like I said before with the chemistry, there's really good professional chemistry, there's really good friendship chemistry, but that romance angle isn't in the film as much as you would expect it to be. You don't really sense that these two characters or these two actors are actually in love. And because of that, it kind of distracts from the fact that this movie's trying to be a rom-com. That's the main issue that I have with it. Apart from that, I also have a problem with the story, specifically when it comes down to the narrative, because any movie can focus so much on the characters, but you still have to have a story in the background going on that makes sense, that is complete, and I can't really say that's the fact here. You know, as much as Charlize Theron's character is trying to be president, and she's trying to get to a point in life where she can come out and say, I'm running for president, but that's all you really know about the story. You don't know that there are steps to get to that process other than hire this guy as your writer. That's all that the movie actually tries to do for you. It doesn't say, okay, I'm gonna hire this writer and then we're gonna go from point A to point B to point C and then I'm gonna run for president. You don't know what those point A, B, and C are, so there's not really much obstacles to be found, narratively speaking anyways. I think it just wants to focus more on these characters and their chemistry and how they get along in general than it does want to focus on that story angle. And that story is important. I wish that they focused more on it than they ultimately did. But as a whole, it's not terrible. It's not a terrible film. I think it did a lot right, and because of that, I'm going to give this film 76%, 76 out of 100 possible stars. If you want to know more about how I rated this on a category, subcategory level, you can check out my website at davidexaminesmovies.com, where I talk about that. I also talk about the DNA analysis of the film. As for YouTube, make sure that you hit subscribe, hit the like button, hit the bell to be notified when I come out with my next review, whenever the heck that is. I don't know. Peace out.